So now we'll see the next example. So what should be subtracted from 1300s to make it a perfect square? So we know that 1300s is not a perfect square. So what is the number we have to subtract to make this number as a perfect square? So instead of going for trial and error method, which square it is less, which square it is more, and then subtracting and finding the answer, so we can use the division method, which will be very handy, and you can quickly find the answer, what should be subtracted here, or if they ask what should be added also, we can work out quickly. So just try the question, so pause the video and try the answer for this. So now we'll see what is the number that has to be subtracted from 1300 to make it a perfect square. So we can follow the same division pattern to find what has to be the number that has to be subtracted. So for that we will group the numbers. So as we have here 200, so group it. And what is the square number contained in 13? So it is again 3. So this question was asked in the previous exam. So what was the number that has to be subtracted from 1300s to make it a perfect square? So the difference is 4, and bring the second pair down. So now we'll double this, 3. So 6 into which number will give you a number nearing to 40? 6 into 6 is 36. So it should be 6. When you multiply, so what is the number we have in excess for square of this 36? It is 4. Now the answer is 4. 4 has to be subtracted from 1300 to make it a perfect square. So subtracting 4, it is 1296. So 1296 is a perfect square. So we have 4 in addition. 4 has to be subtracted from 1300 to make it a perfect square. So now suppose if they ask what should be added. So here they have asked what should be subtracted. Suppose if the question is what should be added with this 1300 to make it a perfect square. So now what will be the working? So what should be subtracted means we choose the number, so which is nearing to the product of the value of 400. So what should be added? You go for a higher number. So it will be 7. So what should be subtracted? We find a number which is less than 400. So what should be added? So 6 into which number will give you 40? So it is 6 into 6, 36. So we will choose the higher number 7. 6 into 7, 42. So when we find 37 square and subtract, we will get the answer. So here 7 into 7. So what is the number that has to be added with 1300s to make it a perfect square? So it is short of 69. So 69 should be added. To make this 1300s a perfect square. So 1369 is a perfect square, which is square of 37. So I'll give you another example. Say what should be subtracted from this 5000 to make it a perfect square. So this question also was asked in the previous exam. So to find the square root, so we can use the division method, follow the same pattern, group the numbers. Whatever the number is in excess, that has to be subtracted. So but here, so we can use this pattern to find the square root. So we have here 5000. The number lesser than this is 4900. So what is square root of 4900? 70. So when you square 70, you get 4900. And now easily you can find what will be the number that has to be subtracted from 5000. So just give a glance at the question and then try to work out. So here it is 5000. So when 100 is subtracted, so you get a perfect square. So answer for this question is 100. So when you subtract 100 from 5000, we get 4900, which is a square number and which is square of 70. And now we'll see few more examples. So we'll see the next example. What is square root of 0.4? So this question also was asked in the previous exam. So we have the options here, 2, 0.2, 0.02, 0.63. So now what will be the answer? So you try it. So we are asked to find square root of 0.4. And what were the options given? 2, 0.2, 0.02, 0.63. And now what is the answer here? So for 0.4, answer is 0.2. So seeing this, so you will go for this answer 0.2 because square root of 4 is 2 and we will write as 0.2. But, so this is a tricky question, and what is the answer? So 0.2 is wrong. So because, so how many decimal places we have? We have only one decimal place. So if we have odd number of decimal places, so then the given number is not a perfect square. So we should have only even number of decimal places for a number to be a perfect square. And also this is not 4. So 4 is written like this. It is written like 0.04. So this is 4. So we have here two decimal places. And what is square root of 0.04? So for 4 square root is 2. And as we have two decimal places, square root will have half the number of decimal place. So 0.2 will be the answer. So but the number which we have is not 4, it is 0.40, or we can read it as 40. So I have told you how to find the squares using the division method if it is not a perfect square also. So seeing this, so many will write the answer as 0.2 or 0.02, but these are not the answers. And now what will be the answer and how to find the answer? So here we'll group the numbers and we'll write the decimal in the line. So see that decimals falls in a line. And what is the square number in 40? So it is 6. So we'll write 6 here and 6. And what is the answer? So no need to find the second decimal also. So answer is 0.63. So be careful that, so when you are working out, seeing a non-square number, so don't write root of that. So here we have 0.4, so it is not 4, we'll take it as 40 and we'll check what is the square number contained in 40. So it starts with 0.6, so 0.63 is the answer. So friends, we'll see a few more tricky questions which were asked in the previous exam. So square root of 0.9. So what is square root of 0.9? So we can, the options given 3, 0.3, 0.03 and 0.9. So seeing this 9, so we'll think that root of 9 is 3 and we'll go for this option 0.3. So but here we have only one decimal place, so it is not a perfect square. So we can't use the square root of 9 here. So 0.3 is not the answer. And what will be the answer? So here we have a single decimal place, and while working square root for square root using the division method, so we'll add one 0 and group the numbers. So here adding 1 0, and what is the square number contained in 90? So it is 9 square 81, and what is the answer? So answer is root of 0.9 is 0.9 itself. So seeing this question, many will go for the answer as 0.3. So in a hurry, so they will not think of all that. So now we are aware of this concept. So be careful while choosing the decimals or choosing the answers. Here only one decimal place was there. So any number of zeros after the integer, the decimal part is meaningless. So here root of 0.9 is 0.9 itself. And we'll see one more example. So root of 0.036. So for this question, approximate square root was asked. So answer is 0.6. The options given 0.6, 0.06. Now what will be the answer? So here we have 4 decimal places. So 36. So square root of 36 is 6. So we'll write half the number of decimal place. So we'll go for the answer 0.06. So but this is wrong. So because we have here only 3 decimal places, so the given number is not a perfect square and you can't use square root of 36. So when you are finding square root using the division method, so we'll group the numbers in the decimal part from left to right. So here when we group, so what will be the working? So we'll group this 0 and 3 and we'll group this 6 and 0. And in this 3 we'll check what is the square number. Here 36 is not in a single group. So if 36 is in a single group, say like if it is 0.36, so then you can go for 0.6 as the answer. Here when we are grouping the number, so 3 is in the first pair, 6 is in the second pair. So we have to check what is the square number in 3. So what is the square number in 3? That is 0.1. And now with this itself we can choose the answer as 0.19. And we can proceed using the division pattern to find the second decimal place also. So here answer is 0.19. And what is square of 19? 19 square is 361. So this is a non-square number. Approximate values are, so root of 0.036 is 0.19. So be sure that, so you don't take for 0.036 as 0.06 or 0.6 as the answer. So here we have 3 decimal places. So when you are finding or grouping the numbers, 3 comes in one group, 6 comes in another group. So it should be a 2-digit number. And here the square number in 3 is only 1, so 0.1. So 0.19 is the answer. The exact square number is, for 19 square it is 361. So the question should be 0.0361. So then it is a perfect square. 0.19 is the exact square root. We'll see the next concept.